Hey there, it's Ben from Pattern Profits bringing you a few setups into Thursday, September 30th, last day of September, last day of the third quarter. So energy has been strong all week. We're looking at this big cup pattern here. We've got trend line support, which is holding. We talked about this one last night, thought maybe we'd get a handle here, maybe even test this trend line again, but upside reversal today. A couple of the other ones, and I'll show you a couple, they decided to go ahead and break out without forming a handle. So want to keep them on the radar. Horizontal resistance right here, 2686 standard pivot above. Again, energy acting very strong. Thought maybe wait on the 1020 cloud to catch up, test the trend line, but keep it on your radar in case it decides to go. From last night, Matador, MTDR, there you see it just decided to go today. We're looking for a handle here, and it's still May, but energy has just been so strong. Good volume after the pocket pivot over here, good volume again. So some of them just deciding to go ahead and break out without forming the handle for us. I also have on ON Semiconductor. Again, that's on ON. These setups will look very similar because we had quite a few last night. You have that anchored VWAP from the power earnings gap, horizontal support right there. Volume shelf is built out, came down and tested that area, and then it provides support, and we tend to get a bounce at that level. And I'll show you, we talked about Dexcom last night, and this was one that very similar setup and did get the bounce, and then 1020 MA cloud acts as resistance, rolled back over. So when the market's not real healthy, you have to be very quick with these. Doesn't tend to get that continuation upside that we look for. But this setup, very, very similar to the ones we discussed last night. This tends to be an area confluence here where they tend to bounce. So again, that's on Semiconductor, ON. Another similar one, INSP. Same type setup. Anchored VWAP from the power earnings gap right there. Horizontal support right there. Be aware that 1020 MA cloud and that anchored VWAP from the high above, if it does pop, you got to be aware of what's going on above. But these areas right here do tend to act as support. A little lower, you've got 5065 MA cloud, volume shelf building out there, but this is an area that we've seen them bounce. Let's take a look also from last night, Affirm. Again, similar type setup as what we discussed. This was the area closed right here at anchored VWAP last night. It actually opened up here around the 120 area, rolled over later, but now you're right there at anchored VWAP from this, which was news, big volume day there. Now that's the one holding as support. You're still right there at the volume shelf. 1020 cloud, you're at the 20 MA portion of that 1020 cloud. So another one that may bounce. Again, looking for that reclaim of horizontal resistance above, and then eventually a challenge of the all-time highs. Just keep in mind, the general market plays a big role. So watching the NASDAQ, watching IWO for growth, a lot better potential for these to move higher when the major averages and IWO are in the green and growth stocks are participating. Oh, one more I want to mention for tomorrow, because we've been watching this quite a bit. DVAX, they have conference tomorrow at noon. That tends to be a binary event. So we have this 2040 pivot above horizontal resistance there. The pocket pivot here, it's kind of gone sideways since. 1020 MA cloud is turning green. Anchor VWAP's turned back up. These are all good things. However, the news tomorrow, that conference tomorrow at noon, like I said, tends to be a binary event. Good news or bad news, and tends to react one way or another. Just want you to be aware because we've been discussing this for a couple weeks and want you to have that on your radar. News tomorrow at noon. Again, that's with Dynavax DVAX. That is all I have for tonight. Hope you have a great trading day, and I'll see you again tomorrow.